order to achieve the desired goal, we often have to make a choice. Thus, our today's hero, Marton Eppel, once had to make a hard call to devote himself to his favorite pursuit. And now, his accomplishments are known in his home country, as well as in Kazakhstan, since he plays as a forward for the Kairat football club.
For his abilities and achievements, Marton Eppel was called up for the UEFA Nations League, an international football tournament among European national teams, launched in 2018. Our hero is proud that this is not the first time he had the honor to represent, being a part of the team, his native country, Hungary.
Marton, you come from Budapest, the city that attracts quite a few tourists. And what can you tell us about the capital and the country as a whole?
Not everybody knows. The city is separated by a river, Danube, and its side Buda, and the other side is Pest. And these two sides is different because Buda is with mountains and it's more like this, and the other is more flat. But one of the most famous parks is Hero Square. In the history we have leaders, 1000 years ago, and we have the leaders there with a very big monument. It's also very nice. The country itself, it's separate between the capital, Budapest, and the other part. Budapest, 2 million people live there, and most of the people want to work there, so the countryside is different. But also we have some historical parts out of the country. We have one very big lake, Balaton, they call the Hungarian Ocean, or this, so a lot of time people go there in the summer. We have some inventors in Hungary, so for example Rubik Cube, it's from Rubik ERNIS, it's very famous all over the world. And we invent also the computer and the soda, the sparkling water, so we have some exciting things. One of the most interesting traditions is Easter, because usually we make water to the women. So the story is that on Easter, the men has to go together to the women's houses and put water on them. And first you sing a verse for them, and if they say you can do it, then you put the water. But nowadays we put perfume, not water. Sometimes on the countryside they put water. It depends on the people.
And do you have favorite places where you spent much of your time as a child or adolescent?
We used to go to the zoo. I liked the zoo when I was young. And also it's called Vidam Park, the roller coaster. So when we were young, with my sister, we always wanted to go there to have fun. Normally in winter we go for skiing, but since I have professional contract, I cannot join my family. It's not a good choice to go there and have injury, so you have to be professional. So sometimes I go with my friends, but I'm just sitting and enjoying.
What do you think? Were you an obedient child for your parents, or a fidget who always gave them some trouble?
Sometimes I give them trouble, so I can say I was a very active child. When I was young, my mother would go to the kindergarten, and she always has to take care of me because I was fighting with the other children. I was running everywhere, so she had to take care of me. There was one story, my parents would go away, and I wanted to take the car, and I didn't have driving license, so I wanted to go out of the house, and I was on reverse and didn't see too much because I was younger, and I go to the bridge where I go out to the gate, and it hurt the car so bad, and I had to call my friend who was a service to take the car for the service. And I was lucky because when they were out for 1 week, and when they come back, they already were in the terminal and the car was not ready. So I was like, what will happen? So when they were on the way, they called me that the car is finished, so they take the car back and I drive the car back. Nobody. After some weeks, I tell to my parents what happened.
Tell us please, whether football has always been your favorite sport, or before you had been interested in other team plays as well.
When I started to play something, it was basketball first. Michael Jordan was one of my favorites, He was a big star. It was good to watch him, and I think he was the first sportsman that I watch on TV. And I say to my parents I want to play basketball, but it was only for half a year after I changed to football.
So how and at what point did you realize that you'd like to play football professionally?
When I was starting football, I was always that I love this and I want to be professional later. So I can say when I started. But when I was 7, I was watching World Cup. The World Cup was in France, and Brazil played France in the final. France won 3-0. Zidane had 2 goals, and this was the time when I changed from basketball to football. First it was only for joy, to have fun. And now after years it became more for work. But nowadays you also enjoy football, so okay, you have to be professional, you have to train every time, and it's not like when you were young and you just think that this is a game. Okay, it's not just a game. You get the money for this, you also have achievement for this, you have teammates, you have to work hard, but half work and half pleasure, yeah.
And how did your parents react on you choosing the path of professional football player?
I'm lucky with this because all my family is doing something sport. My father played water polo, and my mother played tennis and swimming a little bit. And my sister is doing tennis, but she had to stop. She's in university now, and my mother is playing water polo as well. So with this, they always agree if I choose some sport.
How did it influence your life, and what sacrifices did you have to make to achieve significant success in this sport?
To be on the highest level, you have to stop things that maybe you don't want to do, but you have to think about football career. For example, you cannot go out with your friends every time. You have to stay home. You have to take rest. You cannot go to party. With the alcohol, you have to take care. Some sacrifice, of course, I had to do also. When I go to my first club in the first division, I was 18, and I finished high school in 1 year, and I started university. But in that time I was not so experienced, so I think that I cannot make both life. So I mean, do the sports in the highest level and do the university highest level. So after half year I stopped it. But since 3 years, I started university again, and I am happy with this. Also, my parents and my girlfriend studied in university, so this was good motivation for me.
At the age of 14, Marton Eppel signed his first professional contract with MTK Budapest Football Club, in which he had been trained since he was 7 years old. Besides, our hero played for other Hungarian clubs, such as Dunayváros and Paks, and also for Oldham English Club and NEC Dutch Club. And he made his debut for the Hungarian national team, playing a friendly match against Russia in 2017. Playing on Budapest Honvéd team, Marton won the Hungarian National Championship 2016-2017 and became the top scorer of championship, having scored 16 goals.
You received an offer to play for Kairat. What influenced your decision to take the offer and join the team?
ELEK, we speak with him in the national team, and he say a lot of good things about the team and also about the city. It was also important for me to come to the club who plays to win the championship. And okay, this year Astana win the championship, but next year we will have a good chance to win. And also the style of the football in Kairat is you make ball possession, you attack a lot, and I am a striker, so it was important for me to be close to the goal, and I can score the goals easier, and this was also important for me.
Actually, I didn't know him very well before because we just played a couple of times for the Hungarian national team, but of course I know him as a player because we have played many times against each other in the Hungarian league. And the last 2 years he was one of the top scorers in the league. He scored more than 30 goals the last 2 years, I can say that now we are in a good relationship. Many times after the training, we go to the city and spend the time together. When he came here, I tried to help him a lot to integrate for the team and adapt for the team as soon as possible. But he started to score the goals, and I think the team and the Kazakh players also accept him. Of course, he's good player, but in my opinion, next year he will play much more better. He needs more confidence from the coach and from the club. He's a young player, he can progress, and he wants to progress. He's a very professional player, and he sacrificed a lot for the football. And this is good for Kairat and also good for the Hungarian national team for the future.
Was it hard for you to adapt to the new team and follow the rules established in the club? Can you say that friendly relationship has been established between you and other famous players on the team?
We have normal rules like every other clubs in the world. You have to be professional, you have to work hard, but this is everywhere the same. The hard part is the language, and in the beginning it was difficult that I don't understand nothing for almost 1 month. Then I know some words now. Of course in the pitch I know the words how to say left, right, forward. I know this, but in the dressing room it's difficult that everybody speaks the language, and okay, not just me, because some foreign players also don't speak fluent, but this was a little bit difficult. We are close with the teammates, but for me who is close is Sheldon, Bateu, and Ivo Ilicevic and ELEK.
Marton is one of the most kind-hearted and cheerful football players on our team. In fact, all of them have these traits. But I would say that he is always smiling, and by that he makes all of us smile too. Although he is a very famous footballer in Hungary, he is a really simple guy. He helps the team a lot. He provides a high level of assistance in organizing games.
Have you been able to become more familiar with our country? What things have impressed you most of all?
I live most of the time in Almaty, so I only can talk about Almaty, but I was so impressed. I was impressed about the green that all the city has, a lot of trees. And also I visited some nice park, for example Big Almaty Lake, and we were in Csimbulak with my girlfriend, and also we went to the canyon. It was pretty far, 3 hours driving, but it was very nice. To be honest, I didn't know too much things about before. But when I came here, I speak with ELEK. He speaks that the city is nice. And also my mother, she's a teacher in Hungary, and she teaches foreign students for Hungarian. And she has some Kazakh students. And they say that Almaty is very nice. And I was like, okay, let's try this.
We signed the contracts approximately at the same time, and he was the first one of the players on the team I got acquainted with. Since he doesn't speak Russian, I have always tried to help him when he needed it, because I know the English language. He's quite an easygoing person. When he first arrived here, it was apparent that he felt a bit shy. Everything was different towards him, the mentality, country itself, new team, so I tried to give him all the help I could. He had impressed me as a decent person.
And has anyone from your family visited you in Kazakhstan?
Yes, my mother was here 1 month ago, and she enjoyed it so much. I always say to her that I love to live here and the life is very good and nice. And she was like, okay, it's always when you don't see it, you cannot believe it. But when she came here, she was impressed also. My girlfriend, she came with me. At the beginning, she was not here too much because we had to travel with the team for Europe League and sometimes away. But after the first period, she stayed with me and she also enjoyed it.
What is your first priority for the near future, and what dream do you keep in your heart?
My dream when I come here was to win the championship. So for the future, near future, I can say this. I want to win the championship with Kairat, and after be on the group stage of Champions League or Europe League. My dream is to play in Italy. I think Italy is a great football country. I want to play there. Personally, I want to have a family, and when I finish my career, I want to have an Italian restaurant.